Confessions number 36, and welcome to the Bastards Council. And today, what are we gonna talk about, Vin?
Lots of fucking bullshit about killing animals and guns.
Hey.
Hard work! Hard work! Hard work!
Jeremy's mountain is the last today.
All work is!
What?
All work is!
Easy word.
All work is!
Easy word.
All work!
Easy word. All right. So let's get to the fucking discussion at the fucking table. We got Christos Douskos as a goddamn guest today. All right.
Welcome to the fucking Bastards Council.
Hey!
Fuck you!
You're not talking to that goddamn camera. Now, welcome to the fucking Bastards Council,
This
you
son of a
fucking
bitch
Chris.
is fucking...
You're talking to John. Look at John when you're fucking talking.
No!
He loves the fucking camera.
And this...
It doesn't exist, you fuck.
No, it does.
All right.
Fuck.
We have cameras?
If it's there.
This is why nobody likes you.
Everybody loves me.
I don't like you too
No,
much.
they don't love you. They don't like you. They don't love you. They just hang around with you.
Listen.
I love him.
So, Chris, welcome to the fucking council.
Welcome.
Thank
to
you
the
very
council.
We're all fucking bastards, including you
Long-time
two.
bastard, first-time visitor.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
That's amazing.
I'm a long-time bastard, dude. I'm an OGB.
We have this kind of AA type of meeting vibe on this podcast.
What's this?
Alcoholics Anonymous.
No, I know what that stands for, but I mean, what do you mean? It's Well, a camera just fell.
That's amazing.
Is this one random?
Is this one on? Yes, it is on, and it is something random, and I don't know what the hell we were talking about. All right,
yeah,
so
AA. Why were you saying it's an AA?
Because we always introduce people like that. We're always sharing confessions, and that's what AA is. Alcoholics Anonymous for confessions. Now, in your case, it's Penis Anonymous.
Why he's got dick fashions?
No, because he's addicted to the dick.
Why is he addicted to the dick?
How
He's
am I
nice
addic-
to his dick.
I'm nice to my dick.
Not to,
I'm
to
addicted
his
to my
dick, of
dick.
course, but to other people's dicks, no.
What has he done to your dick?
What have I done to
He
you?
has tried to blow me. Wildwood was a nightmare.
Motherfucker, we didn't even sleep in the same room.
What do you think?
Doesn't mean anything.
You slept on the couch with
I
your
didn't
mouth
sleep on the
wide
couch.
open,
I didn't sleep
and
on
it's
the
coming
couch.
with this video of Unsolved
2016.
Mysteries.
Oh, that wasn't a couch, actually.
What would you call it?
That was like a...
It's a half a couch.
A sofa of some sort.
It's a hot
not
couch.
even...
A sofa's just a couch.
No, it was a one-person
I call those
sofa.
loner couches. It was a loner
A sofa is just a couch that's really far
loner
away.
couch.
Then you ask me why I don't come to Wildwood with you.
Listen,
Why?
a sofa is just a couch that's so far away. I'm just saying. Anyway.
You're so fucking retarded.
Well, all right.
All right.
So, we got Chris here. We got some topics for you.
Well, he might have topics for us, actually.
Do you have topics for us, Chris?
What is it?
He's a... What? Sorry.
They tell me you're a learned individual.
A learned?
A learned individual.
I don't even know what that is, so I don't know how learned I am.
Well,
You are.
I don't know.
I guess someone lied to me then.
What do you guys want to talk about? You want to talk about shit that's going on today? You want
well,
to talk about shit that's going on yesterday?
I know you're into guns.
I love guns.
Not Guns N' Roses, but continue.
Guns.
Guns. So what? So why don't we
I
just
am
talk
a
about
very,
this?
very big fan of guns. I believe that people should own guns. I think it's a great way to spend time together.
if there's ever a zombie apocalypse, you know I'm going
Oh,
to
yeah.
Chris's house.
I'm gonna have
You're
to
still
start
not- you're still-
offing people at my front door because everyone says that to me.
No, but
When
I'm
there's
coming.
this-
Yeah, no.
you better be coming with some fried chicken. I gotta tell you that, man.
Buckets.
We're good. You're in.
Now...
All white meat.
Oh, I'll be coming with stuff. What was I gonna say though? But yeah, but wait, you're still living downtown?
Absolutely.
Then I'm there.
Yeah, of course.
I'll be running
Whole
there.
plan. We're gonna go to
Well,
the
you
third
will be
floor,
if it's a
we're gonna
zombie
eliminate the
apocalypse.
stairs. We'll have to throw out like
Jesus
ladders
Christ, guys.
stuff to go in and out.
Actually,
Zombie apocalypse, if it's happening, you don't have time to get a Chris plow.
oh, I'll get
I'll
time.
get to Chris's.
We'll have time.
Oh, we'll make a few seasons out of that, that's for sure.
Well, he's not that far from my office. I think about half a season I'll be there.
Why would you be at your office during the
It'll be
zombie
3/4 of a
apocalypse? I could just see you racing there. Oh my god, I gotta race to finish this diamond before these zombies get me.
No more to get the diamonds out of the safe.
I think at that point,
I just figured I'd be at work and
I
I'd
could
get
just
the
see him
call.
pulling them out of the safe.
safe.
I could just see him pulling the diamonds out of the safe. Ah, these are intrinsically worthless. Anyway,
Yeah.
So yeah, you say
I
why-
love guns.
How
I
is
mean, I grew up in a family where my dad hunted, and once a year if we were lucky enough, we had deer meat in the freezer, and I mean,
But now,
we hunted
But
And
now
I still hunt. My wife hunts with me now.
Did you teach her how to hunt?
Absolutely.
Nice.
How do you hunt? With guns, with crossbow, with arrows,
I
with
start the
knives?
season, you see, the government tells us when we can hunt,
Yeah.
how many deers or how many animals we can harvest
Yeah.
a season.
Yeah.
So you get to try with archery, with black powder, primitive
Black powder?
firearms, yeah.
Wow.
Which is basically loading the gun from the tip, like in the movies there with a ramrod. And then at the end of the season, you get to go with a rifle. So I practice all three disciplines. I'm starting my season September 23rd with
That's
archery.
amazing. He's talking season, discipline.
Now archery
like,
is
it's
cool
amazing though, man.
because it's not automatic.
But everything is cool. I think like the gunpowder, black powder. I
Let
think
me
that's
say
awesome
this,
too,
man. There's a big misconception about hunting. One,
Well, like, so I was gonna ask you first, like, do you do this? You eat all your meat that you hunt?
absolutely everything.
And so there's no trophy hunting, or do you consider
Well,
them
look,
trophies anyway?
Guys, you see, that's where I wanted to get to. Trophy hunting, there's a big misconception of what trophy hunting is. There's not a single hunter I've ever come by in my 30 years of hunting that cuts a head off the animal and leaves the body to rot. If you're not going to eat the animal, there's people that will take it, like soup kitchens and stuff like that. And even someone who just hunts for a trophy has their place. For example, these hippies like that support PETA and stuff, how much do they put into preserving wildlife areas? Very little. Just in my house, between me and my wife, $400 a year goes into hunting permits that pays for wildlife preservation, pays for game wardens that stop poachers. You see, even going to Africa, like let's get to
That lion.
the famous hunter, the dentist that killed the lion. You pay $50,000 to kill one lion, you're saving another 50 lions. Because the farmer that gets one goat killed by a lion, he poisons that goat and kills the whole tribe. But if he's getting money from the crazy white guy that pays that much money to come kill a lion, he won't kill the lion. He won't poison the whole tribe. He'll wait and look at that lion and say, wait until that white motherfucker comes and I'm going to make money off of your ass.
Wait, I just want to make sure I get it. So the hunters, they're gonna poison one. So when
The farmer
this
poisons the goat that the lions killed.
Oh, sorry,
to
man, I
kill
totally
the
didn't
rest
get
of the
that.
lions.
So you poison the prey. So the fucking
Perfect
hunter
example.
dies. That's amazing.
After Cecil died, they made any importation of lion skull trophy in Canada or the United States illegal.
Yeah.
Right now in Kenya, you're not allowed to kill lions because of the reputation it gave Kenya.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
There's a cull on lions, which means they're being shot on sight, snared, shot with spears, and no money is going into the community to do anti-poaching, to save the preservation of lions, because no one's hunting them anymore.
Yeah.
So hunting equals conservation. Conservation equals your kids seeing animals in the wild. Never mind fucking Granby Zoo. That's the real, like, animal cruelty, is putting these animals in zoos where people can just go and gawk at them. They're not meant to be gawked at. They're meant to be eaten.
Yeah.
Okay?
And live in the wild.
I grew up in a family. My father is a furrier. We if it wasn't for animals, we didn't eat. We didn't have milk on the table as kids.
Yeah.
So when I hear these people saying fur is murder and stuff like that, it's the complete opposite. Fur is life.
Okay, but then what do you think about the companies, like I think it's Canada Goose, that puts all sorts of traps to get, I guess, the geese to make their coats, but at the same time, apparently they're killing other animals, and I don't know. Like I'm ignorant to this fact, but I hear a lot of people talking about how they're against Canada Goose jackets.
With the whole Canada Goose propaganda, it was PETA that was behind it.
Okay.
Okay, they're the ones that brought them into the limelight, basically saying that you're doing something wrong, using coyote or fox for the collar and goose down for the inside of the jacket.
Right.
But geese are a nuisance to farmers, which impact people's livelihoods. There's so many geese because they're unedible, they don't taste good, that nobody hunts them. You see, hunters don't kill animals that they cannot eat.
Right.
Okay, it's not about going out and just killing animals.
You can eat lion? I didn't know that.
No, but you control populations.
All right.
If you can't just go into an ecosystem and kill what tastes good, or else other animals starve. You have to create a balance. So technically, a hunter is the steward of the forest. He takes care of. You see, if we didn't have enough deer in our forests for the people in the Laurentians that buy cottages to see them in their, front lawns during the winter,
right,
the government would never let hunters kill deer. But the fact of the matter is that there's so many that they'll eat themselves into extinction. They'll decimate their food, and then the babies won't be able to survive the winter.
Right.
Fucking learn, motherfucker.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's cool, man. He's controlling like the amount of animals.
I harvest 2 deer per year, hopefully. Last year, I didn't take anything because I saw deer that were too small and that needed to populate before I would be able to harvest them. I like to, yes, it's better to kill a young deer because the meat is tender, similar to veal.
Yeah.
But you want him to get 2 years old so then he can bang and he can have kids.
Yeah.
Like a 15-year-old can bang, but he's not going to impregnate the woman.
So you kind of wait for the animal to reproduce. Then he's kind of good to eat because he did.
He did his job.
Is this why sometimes they put like a 20-year ban on certain animals because why do they do that sometimes? Like I hear
because
for exactly this, right?
A hard winter can decimate an animal population.
So, you have to build a population.
Introducing wolves to Yellowstone Park, right?
So it's not just hunters that are the cause of that. It's
hell
because
no.
of. Okay, I don't know.
The thing with this is that I to sidestep a little bit with the whole conservation of lions. He's absolutely fucking correct. You're paying $50,000, $100,000 to kill one lion, and that $50,000, $100,000 goes to the conservation of the whole area. And now I know there's a whole bunch of fucking animal lovers screaming at the screen right now. But I want to see.
You don't hear that.
I know it's amazing. But I want to hear where your outcry is for all the rats we kill.
Look. Never mind the rats. Let me put it in a nicer way.
It's just to say that they equate different animals. They say it's all life's the same, but when they're killing rats.
No, you're absolutely right on that because if you think about it, every half vegetarian or half vegan eats either eggs or chicken.
Yeah.
And the most fucking cruel thing you can do, I'm sorry because I'm laughing, but it's extremely funny to me, is that everybody loves fried chicken, right? You take chicken breast and you dip it in egg. And then you put it in flour. So you're taking the mother and dipping it in its unborn child and then putting it in flour and frying it.
I think it's glorious.
I mean, it's tasty as fuck, but I know where my food comes from. I don't think my chicken was born in cellophane or in fucking plastic.
Yeah.
I know it was a fucking poor animal that was in a factory farm.
Yeah, legs broken and all that. I've seen the way they throw the chickens while they're alive and stuff.
A free animal that runs around the forest and eats what it wants to eat and drinks what it wants to drink. It's force-fed and given hormones. The chicken you buy at Costco or something like that is like 4 or 5 weeks old. I buy chickens from farmers up north that are months old, like 5 months old, and they're the size of small turkeys. You eat one breast to 2 people. Okay, and I mean 2 people like me and Armin.
How big are these fucking breasts?
Well, it's enough
the
to
breast is no joke this big. It's like a turkey breast.
So it's enough to say it's good for threesome.
Yeah, but the argument from full vegans is like, well, you shouldn't eat meat at all.
Look,
I don't agree with. So.
I see their point, and I have to admire vegans a lot more than people that think that their steak was born in a cellophane wrap. I hate people that are animal activists and that eat meat because you have to understand what factory farming does to animals.
Yeah.
And even as a hunter, as someone that kills an animal, I mean, I'm not a fucking psychopath. There's a part of me that is happy because I accomplished what I set out to do and I have meat in my freezer. But make no mistake, I understand that I just killed a living being and I watched it bleed and I'm going to harvest it. And I thank the animal for giving itself to me. Because you think about it, you're going into the deer's home and a deer has a nose this big and ears this big, fucking knows you're there. And for you to be able to harvest this animal is something. Like, I don't want to say that it gives itself to you, but you're lucky enough to be able to harvest it. And I use that word harvest.
Yeah, man.
You harvest
You
an
said
animal.
it. You tanked the animal, and I
Yeah.
think that's fucking deep shit. You know, because I think you take it
Well,
for a reason, because you're gonna use it for 100% of its use. You know
this
what
is
I'm
the
saying?
first bear I shot.
That's fucking cool, man.
This is the first deer I shot. And I took their lives, and
That's cool.
they're a part of me forever now.
Yeah.
Because you respect what you take. And you know what? I know there's a lot of people looking at this and saying that's one hunter out of no. Every hunter is out there, and I challenge
know
you to
a couple
find
of
me.
hunters from work, and I know that they kind of talk a bit like you. I mean, I never had a lengthy discussion, but I've
I
heard
challenge
some of it.
anyone to show me a hunter that doesn't respect the game they hunt.
Right.
Because we are the stewards of the forest. You see, you go to Africa on safari, it costs you $2,000-$3,000. I go to Africa hunting, it costs me like $40,000-$30,000. You tell me who's putting money into the ecosystem. And there's a very famous professional hunter that was famous for killing elephants and guiding people on elephant hunts. And he challenged people to match his yearly salary on hunting, and he will stop hunting. He will stop killing animals.
Really?
And nobody fucking did it. So all these save the elephants, save the lion people, put your fucking money where your mouth is.
Well, that's fucking awesome, man. And
You look like you want to
do
say
that.
something.
No. Fucking
okay.
right, they're not.
I
gonna
think they
do
should
that.
stop saving
And
pandas. They
anyone
don't
that
wanna
wants to
fuck.
look that up, his name is Ivan Carter. He's one of the greatest conservationists and anti-poaching efforts in Tanzania, in Africa right now. And if you want to support something,
Yeah.
don't go and support PETA. Go and support Ivan Carter.
Cool, man.
And basically, you're saying anybody that's supporting PETA right now should go at least look up Ivan Carter and read up on him. At least.
Absolutely.
But there might
Dodo,
still,
the
despite,
Dodo effort or whatever the fuck that's called.
But
That's
I know
another
that.
load of bullshit that puts hunters in a bad limelight.
keep in mind there might be people that will read it and look at it objectively, but still might not agree with you.
Let them not agree with me. Christos Douskos on Facebook. I'll be happy to check you up. I'll be happy to accept your friend request and have a conversation with you.
I'm curious to know, is it the same thing with the sea life? You know, you talk about lions, bear, and all that. How about like the whales and all that? Is it pretty much the same thing? Like,
It's very heavy
is it controlled the
regulated.
same way?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it's very heavily regulated, and
Yeah.
I don't want to come off as a racist or something like that. But China is destroying our ecosystem.
Yeah, well, I heard
Chinese
I heard
shark
fishermen-
fin shit, man.
The whole ivory trade revolves around Asia. That's what's killing our rhinos, killing our elephants. The yellowfin tuna, that they're going right on the border where it's like international waters and there's
Okay.
no rules.
So they're right.
And they're overfishing, and Japan in Alaska is destroying the crab to the point that people, whole cities, you see, like Canada was founded on fur, and we gave up that trade to China. Mulroney gave up that trade with free trade in the 90s.
Right.
And it's sad because we were world renowned for fur, and we gave that up. You know, like could have
I guess it was a
created a
political
lot
move.
more jobs for
Must have been
Canada.
a political
My
move.
family came to Canada because we had fur trade here.
How about we go like a little bit back on the guns?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Let's get into guns.
So how many?
Yeah,
do you want?
list here?
Yeah,
because-
like why don't you tell us like?
and then we'll flash.
Actually, give him the ashtray of the.
I love
What's
guns.
the
The magic
That
bottle,
bottle, yeah.
Oh, it is.
Here we go. Here's
Yeah.
a
Sorry about
professional.
No, no worries about
We
it.
are in the smoking section,
Yes.
right, boys?
So-
So
No,
I love guns. I grew up. My first gun my uncle bought me. I was 7 years old.
What?
7 years old.
And when did you learn how to fire
What was
it?
the gun?
I
Yeah.
was firing guns from 5, like sitting on my dad's lap. And you go, it's really funny. Last year, we were at a family baptism, and my wife, hi Dula, she asked my father, when did Chris get into hunting? And my father went blank in the face, and she kind of like stepped back, and she's like, when I was an infant, apparently, and I was crying uncontrollably, like colicky, they used to bring me in my dad's gun room that had like deers on the wall and the guns on the wall, and he used to calm me down, and they'd put me in a little stroller and I'd fall asleep. It's just weird. It's in me, man.
And then they banned
It's
us
in
from
me.
that fucking room.
And then they banned us from that room.
when we're old enough to fuck around with the stuff inside.
You know?
No, man, Chris's dad. We grew up on the same street together.
You're bringing
Right.
up Al Pacino. Aren't you?
Yeah, okay, his dad, okay, doesn't look threatening.
Al Pacino
You're
shot a
hanging
gun
out
at
with
you?
him. He's one of the coolest guys.
My dad is Al
one of the
Pacino,
nicest guys you could meet. Super, super cool. They have that hunting room, and we've been given strict. You can't go in there. But often enough, his parents were not home, and we know how to shimmy that door with a thing. And
Well,
get
you
in.
know, man, in those days you had all that like teenage violence in the States, kids getting their hands on their parents' guns and stuff like that. We were always taught very responsible gun ethics.
We knew how to fight. Like
And
in the garage, we would fire the guns and stuff
you
and
see-
put them back exactly where they were.
Yo, the
whatever.
crossbow, man.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
wait.
that too. Crossbows. When you fire a 12-gauge shotgun in a garage, you go deaf for.
Wait, where? But I guess you fired
You're not
blanks.
supposed to
still-
say this shit,
No.
dude.
Okay, well,
We might have to edit this out,
yeah.
okay?
No, wait.
I want to talk about responsible gun ownership, not the stupid shit we did when we were
when
little
okay,
kids.
so anyway, one of these times we fucked around like that, and we thought that we put everything back the way it's supposed to be in the hunting room,
Right.
you know. And me, Mano, Chris, and Donald were in Donald's room at my parents' house, where you can see right onto the street from Donald's room. It's the front of the house,
Right.
and Chris's father came about, and he signals for Chris to come out, and Mano went out also. Mano stayed in. No, Mano stayed inside. No, Mano was outside with you. He called them both outside, and he knows it's Chris because Mano's not the gun freak, you know. And that Tommy dude, who you can barely, like, when he's talking to you, it's so calm, so nice. You almost have to want to turn the volume up sometimes.
Right.
Comes up straight into Chris's face, and he goes, knocking his chest with his finger. He goes, "Who the fuck you think you are?" And I heard that from the room, and I was like, holy shit. You could almost see fire coming out of this. He goes, "Tell me who the fuck you think you are. You like going in the hunting room?" And we're like, oh shit, now we're all scared. Because he can give shit to any of us. It's Chris's dad, it can be my dad now at this point. You know?
Yeah.
We were old school, man. We grew up. You go home and tell, like, if Armin went home and told his dad that my dad beat the shit out of him,
I get a second beating.
his dad wouldn't even question why. He would just crack him in the head because he knew that my dad wouldn't hit him for no fucking reason.
I fucking remember Chris, man. I remember it was one of the New Year's party. You know, like I used to have like 3 crossbow in my house, right? I shoot them in my apartment with Pat from Furious. It was the greatest thing. I remember telling Chris, he was like, "Ivy, you want to shoot crossbow now?" You know, I was like, "What do you mean?" "Well, I live like right there. We can shoot crossbow." You know, and I was like, "Yeah, man." You know, first thing you know, 5 minutes later, I'm in this fucking
firing
I'm
garage.
firing crossbow in this fucking driveway. It's just like that was fucking amazing. Chris was always the guy that when I say crossbow, he was not impressed. It was like, of course.
Well, you know, I was shooting 30-06s at the age of like 12.
Okay, so give us the list, Chris. How many fucking
Hey, but wait,
pieces
just
do you have?
before you give us
see,
the
well,
list.
I've refined my gun collection now. You asked me that question 2
shit,
years
tell us,
ago,
man.
and I had like 40 plus firearms. Right now, I have 5 Lamborghinis. I mean, I have under about 10 guns left, but they're all like amazing top end hunting rifles and pistols.
But like how? Like what are they?
Well, you see, it's much like cars. You can buy a shitty little Yaris, or you can buy a Ferrari, right? I'm into a lot of European hunting rifles. So, like, I like Blaser, I like Sako, I like Tika. I fucking hate Browning and Remington. I think they're garbage. But the last 10 years, 5 years, I've been harvesting my deer with either black powder or with a bow. But getting into gun ownership here in Canada, it's a very weird culture and misconception we have about gun ownership in the sense that.
Well, I think a lot of our misconceptions might come from what's going on in the States, and we, as much as Canadians like to say that we're not like the States, which I guess we're not, but we are the most similar
It's
to
definitely
them out of
whatever
all the other
goes-
countries.
Whatever goes on in the States impacts Canada.
It impacts Canada, yeah.
It is Big Brother. In the States, it is a born right to own a firearm.
The Second Amendment.
So you don't need to take any classes. You don't need to do anything more than a background check to own a pistol.
But that background check is something new that they have now.
New, we're talking in the last 20 years. I think
okay.
it was Clinton that put it in.
Do you think they should be putting like checking people's mental
Absolutely.
stability?
You see, that's where I wanted to get to in the end. In Canada, we have to go through a process, a 30-day background check after you've taken your
30
security.
day.
Yes.
You gotta take
Before
classes, man.
you can just get the license to own guns. Okay? So Armin wants to go get his whole equipment. He wants to be on my level. He wants to be able to own long guns, rifles and shotguns,
Restricted.
and restricted pistols and AR-15 type rifles. He would have to take 4 Saturdays, one for restricted firearms, one for non-restricted firearms, one for hunting safety with a firearm, and one for crossbow hunting. Okay? Now, just to give you a quick summary of what those courses cover. Long gun safety, non-restricted firearm safety course, basically teaches you the laws of rifles and shotguns.
Right.
Restricted safety teaches you the laws about what can happen to you if you don't proceed by the guidelines that the government has set you. So I own a pistol. I'm a member in the shooting range in Terrebonne. I live in downtown Montreal. I am not allowed to stop in Laval to pick Armin up to go to the shooting range. Armin has to come to me or meet me at the shooting range. They give me what's called a transport permit. Okay? I go from A to B.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Right.
If they catch me at A.5, 3 years of mandatory prison. Okay? And I'm a responsible gun owner. We're talking about my gun being locked, my ammunition being kept separate from the firearm and locked. And I'm getting 3 years of prison. I'm going to have to take out a mortgage. I'm going to have to go bankrupt. I'll lose my job. And I'm a law-abiding citizen just because I went off a route.
Right.
The gang member that owns a gun, that has a gun, I personally know people that haven't gotten busted with guns when I was younger, and they got not even prison, house arrest.
Dude, there's a jeweler who got held up, and this is not a bullshit story because I'm in the business, and he got held up
In his store.
and he's got all those little permits that Chris spoke about.
Right.
He has them all, but he had his handgun at work. You're not allowed to have that at work, no matter what the fuck. Even if it's a jewelry shop and you're sitting on $4.5 million of inventory, you're not allowed. He pulled the gun to protect himself. It worked. But when the cops came, they saw the gun. Now he's facing that 3-year charge. And
What?
he's a family man, straight shooter, business owner, successful dude, no fucking records, nothing. He had the gun there because to me it makes sense to have a gun in your jewelry shop. I don't have one in my shop. I don't need one.
It's
I'm
very
not open to the public, but he is. So therefore he had it, and that went down, and now he's facing this 3-year thing. And I called Chris right after that happened because I'm like, because when I heard about it, I'm like, that's bullshit. There's no way he's gonna get 3 years in jail for that.
Right.
I called him. I'm like, Chris, I gotta tell you a situation. There's a guy so and so and so happened. What happens now? Before I can even finish anything, what happens now is 3 years. He's getting 3 years. There's no question about it.
That's retarded.
Yeah,
If
tell
he's
him-
not getting
yeah.
3 years, he has bought the best lawyers money can buy.
that's what he said.
And I'm not talking about $5,000 or $10,000. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. Money that me or you or anyone probably doesn't have, man. And you're going to have to go and serve 3 years of
What
prison.
you actually told me is you tell him to go ahead and start that sentence from now and not to try and put any money in lawyers because it's not worth it. He's not going to win it.
Jesus Christ.
So I think for that type of thing is bullshit. The mandatory 3-year sentence, especially
Yeah, it's
if
kinda
you're
harsh,
a
man.
law-abiding citizen. You had, because I see that I can understand that whole you can't veer off your route for as a probationary period. Kind of like you use guns for cars. I'm really into cars. I know the laws a lot in Quebec, especially. So you have to take courses for a license. You don't just get it. Now it's even more strict. You have to learn the theory of it, and then you have to do the practical before you can drive on your own and yada yada. And then it's a year of of waiting before you can actually drive on your own.
Right.
Then after that, you're still on probation with 4 points and all. You can't drink at all. Those type of things. I think if there's a probationary period on stuff like that, that would make more sense, more than just flat out. Especially if you've proven that you can handle the gun.
That's right.
I think that especially for because I'm not a guy who thinks that we should all have guns. I have no problem with guns. I think businesses should definitely be able to have them.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean,
Hey, let me ask you. Can I have a shotgun in my office?
absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
you
were
can
going
have
to
it- wait.
You were going to the shooting range after work. You're allowed to
Yeah,
have
but-
only with restricted firearms
But wait.
are you necessary to have a transport permit. Okay?
So it's a shotgun. A
I could have
restricted
brought a
firearm.
So I
shotgun
can
with
store
me here
I can
today.
store my guns at my office.
So
if I
what?
want.
No,
No.
you cannot store your guns at your office. You were going to the shooting club or going to
Gus,
your
that's not
friend's
what I'm
house
asking
after.
you. Can I have a shotgun at my office for protection reasons?
Absolutely not. You just lost your license.
That-
When you
just
go,
like that.
when you go for your gun license, they ask you, "What do you want your gun license for?
Yeah.
Sporting, protection, hunting, target shooting." That's a trick question.
C and
Because
D are
if
only
you-
valid about
If you
it.
say yes
If
to
you
protection,
say yes to protection, you'll never be able to get a
never,
license in
that's-
your life.
of course.
Interesting.
So in Canada, it is a privilege to have a firearms license, not a right. Everyone has the right to apply for one. The RCMP has the right to deny you without just cause.
Okay. So then that means
it's pretty good control if you ask
what
me.
about
It is, man,
self-defense
100%.
in your house?
Hold on, guys. This is where ideally I would like to see the gun licenses in Quebec. You fork over the money for government-approved psychologists to pass a psychiatric evaluation. Like he said, a probationary period where you're allowed to have a couple of guns, nothing fully automatic, nothing too crazy, bullet, maybe a couple of restrictions on bullets.
Right.
But after X amount of years that you have proven that you are a responsible person and you're not hell-bent on causing any problems with anyone, then you shouldn't be told what or what not you can buy. I don't tell you you can't buy a Ferrari,
See, I don't
but you
agree
don't
with
drive
this,
your
man.
fucking Ferrari at 100 kilometers
Well,
an hour on
I
the
don't agree
highway.
with this,
What if?
man.
What if now? How about this? Like these laws, or maybe like exams should come back when you're, let's say, 70. Just to-
Agreed.
Like, so
Agreed.
when
And
you
I
get
think
older.
the same with driver's
Yeah, no,
license.
that's
agree
what I'm
with
saying.
that
Because I know in Australia, I think they check you every 2 years.
I think the time
for,
before people
license.
should be allowed to touch weapons should be way later than this. I don't think you should have a period to prove that you're okay with it because you're having it.
You're talking to one right now who's
Well,
been having it for 30 years.
This is why I'm glad to.
But I'm
to
also
reply to
throwing
this, you
in
know?
a psychiatric
because
evaluation.
I just want to finish. Like, let's say, like, if you give guns to people and while they have their guns, they have to prove that they're allowed or they're okay with it to handle them. I don't think they should be allowed at that point to have some.
But
No,
let me
they have
tell
to
you
go
to
through
what
this
extent this
evaluation
Yeah,
background.
but the way you talked about it was kind of open.
Sorry, yeah, but let me just explain to you how even the background checks go here in Montreal.
Yes.
We go out to a bar tonight.
Yeah.
We get into a fight in this bar.
Yes.
Tomorrow morning, I'm getting a call from the RCMP
Yeah.
telling me, why did you get into a fight? You have a firearms license. We're
Yeah.
going to revoke your license until your court date ends
So they do
because
that.
of this fight. Absolutely.
Okay.
I get checked. Here's the disgusting thing. As a legal abiding gun owner, I get background checked more often than the fucking convicted pedophiles.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Every morning,
Well,
my
I'm
name
kinda
goes
happy to
through
hear
a
that.
system in the RCMP to see if I got into any trouble the night before.
Oh shit! So even if you didn't have your firearm on you or anything,
Anytime.
Not related to
related,
firearm,
right.
Well, I'm happy to
anything.
hear that, man. You know, like.
Well,
I'm sorry, I'm not happy to hear
Well,
that.
I'm happy
to,
to
to
hear
go
that,
with
man.
that, to go with what you were saying about like you don't think they should own guns while they're on like a learner's
Yeah,
permit type
exactly.
of thing. You're allowed to own a car with a learner's permit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
but guys,
but I'm
it's-
not telling you.
I understand you can kill someone with a car, but I mean, when you give someone something that will give the God effect, I think it has to be illegal or controlled.
you don't think you have the God effect when you're in a car?
No,
Like
Re-
what happened in
recent-
Charlottesville?
Fucking way.
No,
Recent-
man, not like a gun. I'm pretty sure.
I can kill more people at
recent
once.
events in
I
France.
had a better.
How many? The
I
guy
had
killed
a
like
better
20
It's
some
feeling.
not that, dude.
Guys,
a
I had
gun,
a better
a gun,
feeling
you can
holding
put
a
it in my back
crossbow.
pocket.
Exactly.
That's another thing.
But
about
you're
it.
not allowed.
But that's what I'm talking. The God effect, dude. When I hold those crossbow and I was fucking shooting on trees, I never had a better feeling in my fucking 85.
Fair
Firebird.
enough. Now, when I first drove a car, I felt exactly like that.
Yeah, but it
Well,
didn't last, man. I think with a
Let
gun,
me
you
put
have
it this
all
way,
the time,
guys,
man.
and I invite anyone at this table or anyone watching to take me up on this offer. I'm always up to bringing people to the shooting
Yeah.
range for the first
And he is,
time.
man.
I'd love to. Me and my
I
girlfriend
mean,
have been talking about it for a while.
I'd love to host.
Take the council.
It's really not that
I'd be
expensive. It would be.
I've never fired
pleasure.
a gun, so I'm
But
curious. Actually,
here's the thing: when we go to the shooting range, and you can cut back to this after.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be talking. We're all going to be hyped. When we leave the shooting range, everybody's going to be zen. Everybody's going to be relaxed, calm. Why? Because shooting is not, duk, 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 duk.
No, I know.
The first 5 bullets you do, yeah, you feel like...
It's like playing darts.
Like Zeus. But after
Zeus.
But yeah, 100%, dude.
After
I
that,
laughed at both of those.
I know, man. I know what
it's
I'm
all
gonna
about
do.
concentration.
I'm gonna do like
it's all
this.
about breathing.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Come on.
you're going to quick realize that movie shots like this...
Oh, no shit, man.
You'll break your wrist.
They're probably going to tell me get the fuck out of here.
No, they'll laugh with you and they'll let you. You see,
no
here's a beautiful thing, and I believe this: an armed society is a polite society. Okay, you go to my gun club, and you guys are my guests. Everyone around is going to be like, "Hey, Chris, what's up with all these guys around?" And I'm going to be like, "These guys don't have guns, and I want to show them what kind of fun we have." And everyone around is going to want you to try their gun and go and talk to you and everything. You automatically became a friend just because
Chris,
you're
it's
there.
the same thing as a dart club. You know, if you walk in, everyone's going to want to try your dart. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But I mean, that doesn't give the right to people to hone it. That's where I'm saying, like, I mean, it's control. I'm very happy to hear it. But of course, if I walk into a gun club, everyone's going to try my gun, try this. It's
Everybody
good,
wants
you know?
you to...
Because I'm pretty sure once I walk in there, I'll feel secure. I know everything is chill because I know there's no psycho in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, I just want to make sure that psycho.
You want to make sure.
You know what I'm saying?
You want to make sure, Ivy. But let me tell you this.
Yeah.
The people you should worry about having guns, they already have guns. They don't care about the laws. Okay? And it's there, man. I mean, gang members get caught with AK-47s. An AK-47, the world's most famous gun.
And you probably cannot even have your hand on it.
You can't have parts for an AK-47.
Not even
in
parts,
Canada.
eh?
I really get that.
They have outlawed guns that look like an AK-47.
Yeah.
And that here in Canada, we outlaw guns based upon looks. I can bring you 2 guns. One that's all black and badass looking, and one that looks like your grandfather's hunting rifle. And the guts are all the same. And certain guns that fire huge fucking bullets like that are what I explained before classified as non-restricted, and ones that are shooting bullets like this big are restricted and prohibited.
So
cool,
I have like
But basically the laws here in Canada are made by people that don't shoot guns, that don't know nothing about guns. We need to put the laws in Canada into the people like me, the National Firearms Association here in Canada that know about guns. Those are the people that need to make the laws of guns.
Yo, Chris, you have no idea how much you made myself change because the laws are probably like people, with my opinion of what I said before. Ever since I've been listening to you, I'm like, it makes sense, you know? Like, the people that make the laws and the rule are probably like me and what I said before.
So,
you know? I was kind of against it. Well, fuck. I would walk with him and I would feel secure because I think it's...
We don't know each other, Ivy.
It's hard
we don't know each other. You're in a convenience store, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
You're not armed.
Yeah.
Some guy comes in the convenience store, you're in front of me in line, and he grabs you by the neck and puts a gun to your head.
Yeah.
I'm behind you, and I'm a licensed concealed carry firearms owner.
Yeah.
It's your fucking lucky day, my friend.
Dude, I want to be with you all the time.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you talk to me about the states where I even brought up before where it's a right to have guns.
Yeah.
The states with the highest crime, California, New York, New Jersey, Detroit. These are all states where you cannot carry a gun. States like Texas, Kentucky, Georgia. I mean, you ever hear about mass shootings in Texas? Yeah, real quick. Someone tries and then gets a bullet in their head. But that doesn't hit the fucking big CNN News and Gazette. They want to keep the people down. They want to make people think that people shouldn't have guns and it's dangerous to have guns. Until this day, all I remember is Dawson because it was a few blocks away from my house and it impacted all of us.
All of us.
Yeah. All of us. If I was in Dawson and I was allowed to have a gun, this piece of shit fired more than 50 rounds. All I would have needed was one. And I would have saved that girl Anastasia. And a lot of people would have had a different perspective on guns.
Right.
And it's a shame Because when good things happen with guns, no one ever hears about it.
Right.
And the only thing that stops a bad person with a gun is a good person with a gun. And you saying that you don't need a gun in your house is the equivalent of you saying, I don't need a fire extinguisher in the house. I have the fire department. I don't need a gun in the house. I have the police. That's what the police are for.
Well,
When something bad happens to you, you call a guy with a gun.
Right.
All right, Chris,
Cut out the middleman.
give me your number, man.
so I know that if I lived in the
Middleman.
States, I'd probably own a gun. I don't need. I don't feel I need one here. I mean, yes, there's a possibility that someone might break into my house with a gun.
It's
But
better to need one, and it's better to have one and not need one than to need one and not have one.
in that argument, I could also learn Krav Maga, which is the art of taking a gun from somebody.
I'll
What
take.
the fuck? How do you do
I'm
it when
sorry.
the guy's
at
20
fif-
feet from you, man?
Jack Bauer.
At
that?
20 feet
Does
from
it
me,
teach
I'll
you
take
down
on
some stuff,
Conor
or-
McGregor. You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
exactly.
I'll take on Mayweather and Conor
At 20
McGregor
feet, sure.
with 4 bullets, just to make sure. Just put 4 bullets in my gun. That's
But
all
if
I
someone's
need.
breaking into my house and I'm there and they have a gun,
Just to make it humane.
okay, well, if they're at 20 feet, even if I have to reach for a gun, I'm not carrying it on me. If I'm asleep, I still have to go for a gun. At 20 feet, it doesn't matter.
And
either.
your arm,
But at least you
your
have a fighting chance,
Right.
man.
Well, no, because if it's at 20 feet and I have to reach for a gun, I'm still getting shot.
But like I said,
Not
you
necessarily.
have a
Maybe the guy
fighting
had
chance.
the
You're
guy you
leveling
didn't
at
see you
least-
yet. You see him.
Then I
You
can
know,
use
some
that argument with Krav
motherfucker
Maga.
broke in your house. All right, broke
Yeah.
in your house. You have your wife, your daughter, your son, and your cousin is spending the fucking night. Now you
Sure.
hear a crashing window and 2 motherfuckers talking, saying, "Hey, we'll do this shit, motherfucker." Would you rather get out of your bed and just walk and say, "Hey, motherfuckers," or you want to take your gun and say,
Fucking-
"Hey, motherfuckers," and
Well,
fire
you just
one
said you
round
can't
in the
hold it like
ceiling?
that.
No, but
Look, at point blank range, at point blank meaning,
I feel more
I'm
comfortable-
giving an argument.
Guys,
I'm giving an
I feel
argument for
more
the other
comfortable
side
with
of
a
it.
gun
just
in
to
my,
get things back on a realistic scale.
Please.
Here in Canada, if I used the gun in self-defense, I would be trialed for some real serious shit and I'd probably go away for life. But knowing that I saved another human being, either my life, my wife's life, someone, I protected my family or yours, I would rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
right.
Honestly,
Meaning
I
the
don't-
6 pallbearers that are
I
carrying
don't
my
think
casket.
a jury of
Exactly.
12 would convict you for self-defense in that aspect.
Look it up, man. There's a
There
lot
might-
of
yeah, there
people
might be, but-
that
because it
have
goes
been-
right down to, all right, fine.
Okay, sorry.
We're happy you did this,
Well,
but why the
guys,
fuck
we're
did you
gonna-
have
we're
that
gonna
gun in the
wrap this
first
up,
place?
Yeah,
Right,
we're
so
we're
let me
running out of
just say
time,
this.
unfortunately. But
I
let's
want
let's
to
get there,
share
yeah.
a personal situation
Yeah.
that
Say
happened
it,
to
say
me
it, say it.
a few years ago. I wake up at 6 a.m. and I get a phone call saying, "Is this Christos Douskos?" Yes. They go, "This is the RCMP sector Saint Adele." And I say, "Fuck you. I think it's this guy. Give me a crank call or something." I'm like, "It's 6 a.m. Why are you calling me?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Listen, I'm calling you seriously. Look at the phone number on your phone and call me back." I go, "No, I believe you. This is serious. What's going on?" He goes, "Is your cottage at this address?" I go, "Yes, it is." 4 guys broke in with ski masks and machetes last night. We caught them. At 6 a.m, I'm in bed next to my, at the time, pregnant wife.
Right.
I woke up like I was supposed to be there. The only reason I wasn't there was because my cousin was getting married that night. And I was cursing him because I was missing a day of hunting.
Right.
It was hunting season. And I remember telling the cop, "How did you catch them?" He goes, "We saw your door on the floor." And we continued up the street and caught them at the corner because we had seen a car rushing in front of us. And I said, "What was going on?" He goes, "They were looking for dope." And I was like, "What?"
Huh.
And they're like, "Well, you know, up in the Laurentians, a lot of people grow dope. So they thought your house was growing dope and they were coming in to tie you up and to take your things." And I told the cop, "Yeah," within my rage, I go, "You know, it was opening season of hunting season that day. You know what I would have done to them?" He goes, "Yeah, you would have gotten arrested because you're going to have to explain to me how you got your gun, loaded it, and warned them before opened fire on them. Now you have criminals coming into your house with ski masks and machetes, and you're going to have to warn them?"
Fuck that.
Now, I agree. You shouldn't be able to blow the head off of the crackhead that's carrying a TV out of your apartment and drops it and runs away.
Right.
That's not worth someone's life. But
with the
at the same
machetes.
thought, that crackhead might also rape someone's daughter. That's the type of scum you want off the earth. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's to someone's discretion, and I believe that a properly psychologically evaluated firearms owner that I mentioned before is just to take that
Decision.
In the States, there's something called Castleman's document. That means every man is the king of his castle. And if you come onto my porch and threaten me, I have the right to take your life.
Yeah, I wish we had that law too.
And you have to give them warning. Get away from my home. You're invading my privacy. I feel threatened. I'm going to use lethal force. In Florida, they have a law called stand your ground. You stand up. And if someone can make you take a step back, you're allowed to take their life. That means either they're threatening you, they push you, they advance on you, you take one step back, and by just law, you're allowed to shoot.
Fire.
Jesus Christ, I'm only gonna walk.
But let me tell you how polite people are in Florida.
Right?
Yeah, they are. I
I'm not
noticed that.
talking about Miami where it's riddled with drugs and
I've
illegal
noticed
immigrants.
it. They're all like, "Hey, how you doing?" Hey, I've noticed that.
I'm talking about America. I'm talking about good old Kentucky. I'm talking about Arkansas. I was a little kid and my dad used to go down to Arkansas and North Carolina to buy furs, and he used to tell me about people sitting in the cafe with a big cowboy pistol, and he would buy him a coffee or a beer and tell him, what the fuck you need that for? Tell him the cop is 150 miles from here. I'm the police if something happens to my neighbor. If so, I'm here to help my neighbor, my friend, and you. If someone hurts you, I'm here to help you.
That's it.
And I grew up with these kind of stories, I guess, this kind of mind frame.
Unfortunately, we got to cut this short.
Well, guys, it was a big pleasure.
I learned a lot.
Being on the Bastards Council,
Chris, man,
and I hope to bring
man.
the bastards to the shooting range.
That'll be
Oh,
cool.
definitely. We're gonna film that shit.
Yeah, man.
So, final confessions. Anybody?
Well, I have a
Final
final
confession?
confession.
like,
Final word type.
Yeah,
Final
I'll
word.
go quickly. I have a list. Is the list of Ivy. You talk about hunting and trophies. There's only one trophies I've been hunting for. It's called a platinum trophies. I never got one. I
Life
have
is
2
Strange.
ounces and
Life.
fucking
I can get you
gold.
one for Life is Strange.
I'm gonna try to do that. I think the fucking chicken dip in chicken is internal cannibalism. That's kind of fucked up.
I think it's awesome.
And
I hope I made some fucking vegetarian that doesn't eat meat but eats eggs and chicken.
We've weeded out all the people that would get offended by us.
fish.
So.
oh, dude, these
Fish. What the fuck?
hey, we're on
Fish.
final confessions.
Why?
Fishing is one of the cruelest things you can do.
I love
You
it.
put a hook
Chicken.
in an animal's mouth, drag him out
That's
of
gonna
the
be
fucking
my
water,
confession.
and then throw him back.
And speaking of fish, you talk about the Carter family. I only know Nick's a great boys band. Besides that, I think it was amazing. Chris, please come back.
Please, man. I love that. I love
Fantastic.
being here.
Fantastic.
I just have to say I learned a lot, and I would like to.
And it was my first
try
time
that
meeting this
shooting
sexy
range.
motherfucker too. It was great.
Really? Never met Vin?
No, I never met him.
Interesting.
No,
Heard a lot about me. I heard a lot about you.
there you go.
I've known Chris too
We
long
go
to say
back like
anything
British
bad.
and Playboy, baby.
For
Our mothers used to put us in the same crib so they didn't have to put up with our stupid asses.
For my final confession, it's time to get serious. No, not at all. I think animal hunting. I totally have always agreed with that stance on it. You're hunting for your food, or even just like for sport. I think fine. I also think the people who are crazy, who will be headstrong about lions and tigers and bears, but then love it when rats are killed and whatever is a big disconnect. Guns, I agree for pretty much 90% of everything with you on like lowering some of the restrictions for people who have shown. I think it should be like a driver's licenses. You have probationary periods and stuff. That's cool. Yeah, I would love. I can't wait to go to the fucking driving range.
The shooting range.
Shooting range,
I'm
sorry.
telling you guys,
We'll go to shooting.
out of the 4 of you, I guarantee one is going to go and get his gun license. Because it's just that much fun.
Interesting.
Jono.
It's
Why would it
really-
be me?
You love America.
Well, yeah.
I love America.
love
and
America.
America's on the way to being great again, man. That's all I got.
Well, I guess that only leaves us with a couple of words.
No confessions from me then, I guess.
You just said you had nothing to say.
No, I didn't. What the fuck's with that?
Guys, come on.
It was a pleasure being here, guys. Thank you for having me.
And we only got a couple of words to say to you. See ya! Not endorse PETA.
So no confessions.
This was so much fun.